So great. Welcome to day 2 of our training today. Welcome to day 2 of our training today. And this is the 25 days global high ticket sales challenge. Okay. With me, Bob Ondijo, and I'm taking you through becoming one of the best realtors. Okay, becoming one of the best realtors. This is brought to you courtesy of Estbo Associates. Yeah, brought to you courtesy of Estbo Associates. So if you want to become a realtor with us, I want to officially invite you to become an Estbo Associates, whereby you help us to sell our lands and our plots, and in return you win and enjoy the following benefits. Number one, you get to earn minimum 100,000 or more in commission every month. Number two, you win all expense holiday paid trip. Just to, you need to be informed, you need to travel and know what other people are doing outside there, okay, so that you become a better version of the realtor that you want to be. Number three, you also get an opportunity to win an iPhone. Yeah, you can use it to shoot content, to do a lot of things. Remember, the iPhone is like the modern laptop you're carrying in your hand, and there's a lot of things you can do with it to accelerate your income, to increase your income, even make you one of the topmost sought after realtors. Okay. Number four, there are also some shopping vouchers to be won. 5 home appliances are also, plenty to be won, and more. And above all, you get access to exclusive training, modern sales training like the one we are doing right now. You get also exclusive training on land investment, modern land investment training. You'll also get training on leadership, modern leadership. And on top of that, you'll also get some of my books, that I've written, okay, to help you become among the top 1% realtors. Yeah. So how do you join us? Just simply go to www.estboassociates.com. Go to www.estboassociates.com. That's where you register, go to www.estboassociates.com. That's where you get to register. Yeah. And once you register, then we'll send you more information on how you can partner with us in this journey. Again, the website is www.estboassociates.com. Just go there and register and become part of us. Okay. Yeah, just go there and register, and become part of us, yeah. And then we'll send you more information from there. Good. We can now proceed to the class. Yeah. And today we are looking at the art of selling. So we are going to look at the sales funnel, what is cold calling, what is a sales funnel, what is professional edge that you need to have. Okay. So it's going to this second episode is just building on the foundation that we already looked at in terms of personal branding, marketing, sales, and closing. Okay. So number one, you need to understand, the art of selling. you need to understand what are sales funnel, what is cold calling, we're going deeper into the confidence and what is the professional edge that I need to have for me to be among the top selling realtors. Okay, and in day one we established that marketing is a process of creating visibility and attracting attention, and sales is the next more targeted stage of the process, and we said that marketing cuts a wider net, a bigger net, okay, but sales narrows down to the focus, and closing is now where you're exchanging the money for the value, and the money is hitting your account and the value is going back to the client, so we want to begin by looking at what is cold calling, what is marketing to sales, what is ethical bribe. So we want to niche down to marketing, then niche down to sales, and we are niching down to now quality leads. And we said that marketing casts a wider net, like maybe there's billboards, there's some social media, there's some video content, and this is basically to build visibility and attract attention. Sales engages directly with someone who has the capacity to purchase. Yeah. So the sales funnel, okay. Yeah, sales funnel. Sales funnel is simply a structure for systematic selling, and when you look at the sales funnel, it is wider at the top, narrower at the bottom. Now, at the top, what begins is awareness, where we have content, social media, we have advertising, and then we have referrals, okay? And then we have qualification, where you identify clients who are able to buy. You'll hear some people saying prospects. You are now identifying these people have the money to buy, yeah. And the client has even told you, I have this cash and I'm willing to pay this in installment. Then we have presentation, whereby now you're presenting the product details and you're handling objections, okay? Then comes now the decision. You are guiding now your qualified potential, qualified prospect towards purchasing your product or service. Okay? So, sales funnel is a model for understanding how potential buyers move from just initial awareness, okay, to a completed transaction, yeah, where the clients are moving from awareness to now buying the product that you're selling or the service that you are selling, okay? And we are saying that you're beginning with awareness, qualification. You've already narrowed down to those who are financially capable. Then you present to them the product that you're selling, or the service that you are offering, okay? Now, this is what we are calling now the sales funnel. And the sales funnel can be built and managed through multiple channels. Number one, you can have email funnels. You can have WhatsApp funnel. And WhatsApp funnel whereby you have a broadcast list and direct messaging campaign whereby you are sending messages to somebody personally. Then we also have social media funnel. So this is content-driven engagement on platforms such as Instagram, LinkedIn that draws prospects towards a direct conversation. Okay? Now, there is something we are calling ethical bribe. How do we attract quality leads? The best way to attract quality leads is through free value. A free offering of genuine value is what we are calling ethical bribe. and this is closely related to your product, and this positions you as a trusted authority. So one of the most effective strategies of populating a sales funnel is what people now call ethical bribe. So ethical bribe is not a gimmick. This is a piece of content or an experience or a resource that the target audience finds genuinely useful and which positions you, the professional, as knowledgeable and trustworthy authority. Okay? It positions you as knowledgeable and trustworthy authority. Yeah. Okay. So ethical bribe works because it attracts the right kind of attention. And you need to understand that when you do a direct advertisement for maybe a property, it might be ignored by those who are not immediately in the market. But when you offer free resource like 10 things you must know before buying a house, or 10 things you must know before buying land in Kikuyu, 10 things you must know before buying land in Ngong, 10 things you must know before buying land in Kitengela, 10 things you must know before buying land in Kangundo Road, 10 things you must know before buying land in Juja, okay? Or how to avoid being defrauded when purchasing land. This will attract anyone with an interest in real estate, including those who are actively preparing to invest. Yeah. So ethical bribe is very useful, and it needs to be very credible and should be clearly associated with you, the professional, and in your area of expertise. Okay. So over time, the audience that will consume this content will become warm, because normally we said sales funnel, we have the cold audience, then we have the warm audience, then the hot. Hot are people who are now, they want to buy now. Yeah, they're ready. They're in the buy mode. Cold, they're not aware that they need to buy. So that's where now the ethical bribe now comes in, to make them, to warm them, to prepare them, to prepare them. Okay? Yeah. So you need to prepare your audience. You need to warm your audience. Okay? You're offering something for free. Okay. Good. So when the audience consume now this ethical bribe, this content, genuine value content that you're offering, they become educated. They now begin to trust you, and when the moment arrives to make a purchase, they will think of you first. You, the person who has been consistently adding value to their understanding. And some of the ethical bribes that you can offer are like ebooks, guides. These are written resources on property investment. You can offer free seminars. These are live events on maybe land investment, on strategy, on market trends, on investment opportunities, coaching calls, short consultations on buyer. People can call you, video series. You can do maybe some YouTube, some Instagram educational content. Okay. Articles and posts, bit-sized social media expertise, Q&A sessions, interactive live sessions for the land investment prospects, or even the house investment prospects. Yeah. So the key principle is that you must offer something of real value for free, and trust that the relationship it builds will convert into sales over time, So because the professional who is known as the most knowledgeable and helpful person in their niche will consistently outperform the ones who only communication is a direct sales pitch. Yeah. So I want you to type that down in the comment section, that a realtor who is known as the most knowledgeable and helpful person in your niche will consistently outperform the one who only communication is a direct sales pitch. Okay? Yeah. Now, let's move on to cold calling. So there is something we call cold calling. From the word cold, I told you that the sales funnel has got 3 stages also. We have the cold audience. They're not aware that they need to buy land. Then we have the warm audience. So the warm, now you've made them aware. You made them aware. They are now aware through maybe the ethical bribe. Yeah. Then we have the hot audience. These ones have been searching for the land and they have the money. You don't need to warm them. They are ready. They're willing to buy immediately. They even have the money set aside for that. So that's now where now calling comes in, to call this cold audience, to warm them. You warm them. And that's why it's now called cold calling. Okay? So in the era of digital marketing and social media, cold calling remains one of the most direct and powerful tools available to a sales professional. Okay? So there's something we used to call passive marketing, whereby you are waiting for prospects to find you. Now, cold calling puts you in direct, immediate contact with a potential buyer, okay? Because it is the most human and personal form of outreach, because it's a one-on-one. You are calling somebody, you are talking to somebody. So nowadays, the one-on-one does not mean that you have to physically go on the ground to that person. Cold calling is also categorized among the one-on-one, So when you're calling this person, is like you are with that person in their business or in their home, and you are talking through the phone, okay? You are calling that person, So it is putting you in direct, immediate contact with a potential buyer, and we are saying that it is the most human and personal form of outreach. And when you execute it well, it opens doors for you that no advertisement can match. Okay? And cold calling, you need to know that it is the fastest way to populate a sales funnel with qualified prospects. It is the fastest way to populate a sales funnel with qualified prospects. By initiating conversations at scale, you, the realtor, the professional realtor, you quickly identify who is interested, who needs nurturing, and who is genuinely ready to move towards a purchase. Okay? And when it comes to cold calling, there is something we are calling the power of volume. If possible, you should be able to call like 50 people per day minimum. Okay, 50 people per day. Calling them minimum 50 people per day. Okay? And one of the transformative habits a new real estate sales professional should adopt is commitment to high volume daily outreach. Yeah. And I think this is where now most realtors will normally go wrong, because we don't know that sales is a numbers game. You don't have a marketing problem. You have a traffic problem. The higher the traffic of people you are driving, the higher the traffic of people you are reaching to, the higher chances of making a sale. When you have the least traffic, then sales becomes a problem, okay? And if possible, we need to target a minimum of 50 direct sales calls per day. These are people that we are calling daily, 50, And then you supplement it with 250. These are people maybe you are just texting on WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, on Instagram text, LinkedIn text. Maybe there's some people you are sending email. So this 50 to 50 that you're just texting, either through WhatsApp, Instagram, LinkedIn, email, plus 50 calls, then that amounts to like 300 people reached on a daily basis. Combined daily total of 300 conversations, okay? And this number might seem bigger for maybe somebody who is starting or a beginner, but we need to understand that sales is a numbers game, and not every call will result into interest. Not every interested prospect will convert immediately, but the professional who consistently reaches like 50 people per day and for 30 days, you're creating a pipeline of conversation, you're creating a pipeline of relationship and eventual transaction that will come as a result of that, okay? And somebody said that no level of poverty can survive calling 50 people every day for 30 consecutive days. No level of poverty can survive calling 50 people every day for 30 consecutive days. Okay? Yeah? Good. So let's proceed. How do you open a cold call? The opening of a cold call determines everything that will follow. If you begin to call somebody and you're weak, it's a weak calling, you are hesitant, you realize that you will lose the potential client, investor. But when you're confident, you're compelling, and you're value focused, when the first time you're calling a client, then that client will possibly buy from you. For example, somebody calls a client and is saying, "Hello, please, who am I speaking with? My name is John, and I just wanted to talk to you about some properties." Now, that is a weak opening. What if you shift and say, "Hello, sir, my name is Bob Ondijo. I help wealthy people make more money, multiply their money through real estate. Are you open for a brief conversation?" That is a strong opening. So you need to understand that a strong opening establishes identity. You need to introduce yourself. And don't introduce yourself as an agent. Introduce yourself as a real estate consultant. "Hello, sir. My name is Bob. I'm a real estate consultant. I help wealthy people make more money. I help you multiply your money through prime, affordable real estate investments." Number 2, positioning. Define who you serve. I help wealthy people. Or maybe you can say, I help tenants move from renting, get affordable land, and build their family home and move from renting. I help those who are renting easily move from renting and build their family home in, areas that are near, within metropolitan areas. Okay? So, position. Define who you serve. Number 3, authority. Signal expertise. My name is Bob, most sought after real estate investment coach. authority. Then number 4, engagement, opens a dialogue. Are you open for a brief conversation? So the calling should initiate some engagement, some dialogue. Okay. So the goal of opening is not to close the sale, it is to earn 30 more seconds of the prospect's attention. And once that is granted, the conversation now can deepen from there. Okay. Now, building your outreach lists. Number 1, leads can be sourced from many channels. Okay. You need to look for your existing contacts. There are people within your contacts. WhatsApp broadcast lists, personal phone contacts, social connection. Some of you asking, where do I get these people? They are people that you have right on your phone. You schooled with them, maybe some family members, colleagues, and then also LinkedIn, particularly valuable for reaching professionals and business owners, and LinkedIn Premium offers direct messaging to any user, and the platform frequently offers 30 days free trials. Then we also have Instagram and Facebook DM, direct messaging, short personalized video messages or text introductions sent directly to prospective clients. Okay. Yeah. Then we have referrals. Every client and warm contact is a gateway to their network. All the clients that have bought from you, they can give you referral. Those are gates to their network. And their network also are gates to their network. Okay, so it's a chain. So you don't need a sophisticated or a big database to begin. You just need discipline to start with what you have. Start with what you have and expand consistently over time. But the best place to begin is sharing valuable content first through social media, and then following up with a personal call or a message. That is a highly effective order, that will convert passive awareness into active sales conversations. Okay. Yeah. So you need to be aware about that. Okay. You need to be aware about that. Yeah. Good. So let's move on. And for you to gain a professional edge, your confidence, your conduct, and your credibility matters a lot, And what are we saying? We are saying that you need to own what you sell. Personal investment transforms the sale conversation from persuasion to partnership. Okay? So one of the most underrated credibility markers for real estate sales professional is personal ownership of the product that you are selling. When you own the property that you are selling, even just one single plot of land, this will bring an entirely different energy to sales conversation than the one who has never invested in these properties. So you as a realtor, you need to also think of one day owning, so that it gives you the confidence to tell your investors that I'm also an investor in this property. I've also bought this property, and therefore they have trust in you. They have confidence in you. They feel like you are not going anywhere. You are there with them. You understand them. I own a plot in this estate, and here is what has happened to its value since I purchased it. So you are no longer a salesperson. You're building trust with your audience. Okay? And personal investment has some different, effect in terms of your self-esteem and your emotional posture. Yeah. Okay. So the commitment to personal investment, even in small amounts, is one of the clearest signals that you can send as a professional to your clients and even to yourself, that you believe in what you are selling. Okay. So you become a fellow investor and you extend an invitation, not just a salesperson. It gives you what? Credibility. And knowing that your assets are appreciating creates also some calm, some grounded assurance, stability. It gives you some confidence. And then when clients sense the difference, when you believe in what you sell and you respond to it, then you know what? You're becoming now authentic. Okay. Now, there is something that you need to deal with even as you continue to sell, and that is defeating imposter syndrome. Now, imposter syndrome means you are doubting your achievements and right to occupy a space despite evidence to the contrary. Okay? So this is a psychological pattern in which an individual doubts their own achievements and competence. Yeah? Okay? So in sales, confidence is a currency. In sales, confidence is a currency. I want you to type that in the comment section, that in sales, confidence is a currency. And imposter syndrome is among the most costly barriers you can carry. Okay? Yeah, and how does it manifest itself? Not introducing yourself boldly to a high value client because you feel they are too important for you to approach, or maybe allowing a client to treat you like a subordinate rather than a trusted consultant. Maybe you're shrinking your voice. You're not confident with your posture, and your pitch in the presence of a wealthy or an authority, a wealthy client or an authority client. And all these behaviors communicate to the client without a word being spoken that the professional does not fully believe in their own value. Yeah? Okay? Something else is arrogance. Arrogance will also send some signal to your client. Yeah? So you need to be watchful about some of these things. Yeah. Okay? You need to be watchful about this. So there's something you're calling healthy confidence, whereby you are settled awareness of your own value. You know your own value. Genuine respect for others regardless of their status. You're bold enough to initiate and hold conversation. You're humble enough to follow proper protocol. Okay? Yeah. Now, there are small things that signal big character. So I want us to look at the professional etiquette. Okay? Small things that signal big character. So in high value sales, the transaction often begins before any product is mentioned. It begins the moment you as a professional walks into a room, you send a message, maybe you pick a phone, your clients are watching. So number one, you need to watch for punctuality. Arriving on time signals that you are a realtor that believes in respect, reliability, and self-discipline. Okay? Use of titles and courteous languages. Addressing a client as doctor, if that is their titles, where appropriate. Okay? Appearance, dressing at the level of your product shows you take the interactions seriously. Okay? How you present yourself physically communicate your relationship to the product that you are selling. A professional who is selling premium properties should look premium. When you're selling premium properties, you should look premium. Okay? Integrity. Keep every promise. Your reputation is your most valuable sales asset. Your reputation is also a currency. Okay? Keep commitments. Integrity as a sales strategy. Deliver what you promise. Okay? However small, it is an opportunity to demonstrate integrity. Yeah, because every broken promise will cost you. Okay? Yeah. Remember that integrity is a modern day currency. Clients want to work with people they believe have integrity. Okay. Good. So, something else that you need to know when you are selling is goal setting and the long game. So, you need to write down your goals. They need to be specific, smart goals, specific, time bound, measurable, attainable, okay? So you need to have a goal. How much do you want to earn this month, this year? You need to have a target. The why attached to a target matters as much as the target itself. Ask a personal why, what achieving the goal makes possible. Why do I want to earn this? I want to go back to school. I want to know. Okay? So, you need to write it down. Okay, you need to write it down. Surround yourself with the right people. Real estate sales at its core is about relationship with the people who have the means to invest. So you need to surround yourself with the right people. Be in the right networks. Building networks, that will help you to make more money, make more sales. And this might mean attending events where investors and business professionals gather, upgrading to environments that attract a higher demographic, building a visible a professional brand that draws in the right audience, or working with an organization that already has access to a quality client base. Yeah. Okay. So key takeaways that you have talked about is that sales begin with quality leads. Engage those who can genuinely purchase. Okay. The ethical bribe attracts the right audience and build trust for conversion. Cold calling 50 plus people per day for 30 days will transform your sales pipeline. Owning what you sell shifts the conversation from persuasion to partnership. And then you've talked of your professional conduct, punctuality, respect and address people with their titles where necessary, appearance, how you dress, how you if you're selling a premium property, you need to look premium. Signals integrity before the pitch. Then you've also said that you need to write your goals with emotional anchors, attached to it. Yeah. Okay. So put these principles into practice starting today. Identify one piece of genuinely valuable content that you can offer your target audience for free this week. It might be maybe a short video, or on land banking. It might be a written guide on avoiding property fraud, or live Q&A on real estate investment. So create it, share it broadly, and commit to producing one new piece of valuable content every week. Yeah. Then cold calling. Write your personal sales pitch. A 2 to 3 sentences statement that introduce who you are, who you serve, and what you help them achieve. Yeah. Who are you? Who you serve, and what you help them achieve. and practice it loud until it feels natural. Then make 50 calls today. Do this every day for the next 30 days, and be sure you are documenting your results. Okay, send a personalized WhatsApp broadcast with useful content. Follow up in 48 hours. Okay, yeah. Evaluate your punctuality, your follow through. How do you use your title? Okay, yeah. Do you follow through on every commitment? Identify one specific area of professional conduct to improve this week and hold yourself accountable to the change. Write your sales target and the personal goals that it will enable you to do, and then review it daily. Yeah. So thank you so much for those of you who attended our day 2 of our sales training. And what is happening right now is we are recruiting Estbo Associates is recruiting realtors who will help us to sell our lands and our plots. Okay, and if you're that person, you want to earn from 100,000 and more in commission every month, we invite you to become an Estbo associate, helping us sell our lands and plots. Okay, and win and enjoy the following benefits. Number 1, you are earning 100,000 and more in terms of commission every month. Number 2, there's an opportunity to win an all expense holiday paid trip. There's also an opportunity to win an iPhone. There's an opportunity to win some shopping vouchers. There's an opportunity to win some home appliances and more. And there's also an opportunity for an exclusive training with the best of Africa leading investment coach and real estate mogul Bob Ondijo, myself, and other leading experts. And beside that, I'm also going to give you some of my books that I've written. Okay, and some of the training that you're going to access is a modern sales strategy. Okay, modern land investment, training. You're also going to get training on modern leadership. These are going to equip you to be among the top 1% high-selling realtors. And of course, how do you begin? The place to begin is go to our website, www.estboassociates.com, and register. Okay, go to www.estboassociates.com and register there. Then from there now, we will guide you on the next step. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in to our day 2 of the 25 days global high ticket real estate sales challenge, and see you in day 3. Bye bye. See you. Bob Ondijo is your trainer, real estate investor, coach, and an entrepreneur. Help you multiply your money through prime land investment opportunities. Bye bye. See you.